everyone, this is Professor Benjamin, and in this video I'm going to show you how we can answer these last questions on our Teaching Excel using the counted sheet. So if you have questions about how we came up with the answers for these questions up here, then you're going to need to go back to the PowerPoint Technology and Criminal Justice data sets to look at how we were able to calculate all of this data above. But right now I'm going to just work on 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to show you using Excel. If you're using Google Sheets, there will be a different video that is posted in the PowerPoint. So here we are, and so what we're looking at, number 1, is the average age. So question number 3 is, according to the data, what was the average age of those killed by police as of August 2nd, 2016? So in order to find the final, the average age, it's very simple. We're going to go back, we're in Excel now, back to our spreadsheet. The first thing that I did was, if you look here, I added a couple more just headers here so that we can use our tools. So if you would like right now, maybe add in gunshot, percentage, male, percentage, and Illinois. And the reason I did that was because they're the last questions that we're going to answer here. And this will help you just be a little bit more organized when we go to answer those questions. So if right now you want to take a second or two, I'll give you a second or two if you could type in gunshot, percentage, male, percentage, and Illinois. If you could type in those, that would be fantastic. And this is going to be pretty simple because we've already used the tools, so now it's kind of going back and repeating the tools that we used. And we're going to continue to do this for the next couple weeks in this class. All right. Going back. So here's how we're going to find the average age. So if I look here in column C, it tells me age, right? So here's the age of all the individuals that were killed. And I mean, it's sad, but there's a couple here, like 12 shot by police, a white girl on January 11, 2016, gunshot. And if you scroll through, you start to see some horrific things about this data, about the ages, unknown age, Native American, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 68-year-old. So you could even drill deeper into this data if you really find this topic interesting, which I think a lot of you will, especially if you're in the criminal justice field and you are following what's going on in the world. You definitely should find this data really, really interesting, maybe even enough to share with friends or colleagues, etc. 76-year-old male. So you can see all the ages here. So you can scroll down and maybe just get a sense of like, wow, these are all individuals that were shot by police. And it's kind of, you know, it's a little bit of an eye-opener. So let's look for the average. So I'm going to actually highlight this entire column, and notice I went up here and I clicked on the C, and I'm going to scroll to the bottom now. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom because here's where the average, it's going to pop up in here. So once I get this, I'm going to go up. I'm going to make sure I'm on the home screen. And when I go up to the home screen, you'll see here auto sum over here to the right. Some of you, it might be here in the middle, which is fine. But I'm going to drop it down and you'll see average here. So I'm going to click on average, and in the box below, average should pop up. So here's the average age. Of course, we want this in a whole number. We do not want this in a decimal. So we're going to do this. We're going to remove our decimal points. Notice I went up here. I'm going to remove the decimal point, and the average age is 36. So that's how you're going to be able to figure out that. The next thing we're going to do is go back. So the average age is 36. Now we're going to try and find gunshot and percentage. So here we're going to use COUNTIF, not COUNTIF. So we're going to use COUNTIF. So before I told you to kind of type these out, I clicked in the box below gunshot, and I'm going to go to my, formulas, and I'm going to insert COUNTIF, and it should show up here because you've used it. Here, COUNTIF, and now it's going to ask me a range and criteria. I'm going to go back to my home page, and to my home data. And then look, here is where I'm going to use. So I'm going to look here at, right here, column L is telling us the classification. So I'm going to use L, and I'm going to say gunshot. And I spelled gunshot wrong, so it would come up as 0. So sometimes, remember, if you type in a word wrong, it will come up as 0, and then you want to kind of go again. So I'm going to hit here. Okay, 590. So 590 of these shootings were by gunshot. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to find the percentage, we would say equals, we have the total. What's the total? 633 people in this database, so we're going to take 590 divided by 633, and we're going to hit enter. And then we have our number here, but again, we need to go back to our home page, and we need to make this a percentage, correct? So we have 93% of individuals shot by police were by gunshot, okay? Now we're going to look for male. So we're going to go here to male. And we are going to do the same thing, COUNTIF. So we're going to go here, and we're going to say formula, insert function, COUNTIF. Okay. We're going to go back to our data, and we're going to look at the sex. So these are individuals that reported their gender as male. Now, you'll notice that there are female in here, but there's also unknown, and that is individuals that would rather not give their gender, or maybe they are gender fluid, or they do not relate with either gender, so they're gender neutral, okay? And they would be listed as unknown here. So we're going to put in male here, and we're going to say, okay, male. 597 of the 633 were male. That's a high percentage. That's interesting, right? So that's an interesting talking point. Of those shot by police, 597 were male of the 633. So if we look at this percentage, let's do this, equals 597 divided by 633. You have 94% of individuals that were killed by police in police shootings were male. So this tells you, is this because police treat males differently than females? There's a lot of questions here I have for law enforcement officers or law enforcement agencies. So do they treat women or individuals that identify as female different than they do as males? And so this would be an interesting topic or talking point. Now I'm going to let you look up Illinois, and it's very simple. We're going to use the COUNTIF function again. So we're going to use that COUNTIF function again, and we're going to click on COUNTIF. We're going to click on formulas up here, and we're going to look for COUNTIF. So insert our function, COUNTIF, and we're going to use our range. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to click on, we need to look for the state. Okay, and then you're going to put in Illinois, and you're going to get, now for this question, we do not need to do percentage. We just need to know how many individuals were killed by police who live in the state of Illinois. All right, so that's how you finish this worksheet. The reason that I walked you through every step of this worksheet is because you're going to have to do this again for the wrap-up assignment. And so if you need help or anything, you can go back to these videos to help walk you through how to use COUNTIF or COUNTIFs to answer the question on the data sheet. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.